I want to stress when we are talking about if such geopolitical situation right now happening across globally from last more than 3 or 4 years when after the Russia started the special operation, and many countries in the world have understood the real face of the US and the Western countries. Because if you see the past, the history of these countries, you can see the leaders sitting ruling these countries are also like changing very like few after few years, through 4 or 5 years like this. But on the other side, if you see the leaders sitting like China, India, Russia, of course, and then if you see in America and Latin America, the leaders of these countries are first of all sitting for for quite a long time. And secondly, these leaders understand that these countries are not in similar position as of these so-called developed Western nations or the US. And thirdly, they understand that our nations have very much strong prospect and strong opportunities in the sphere of development and cooperation between all the friendly countries. Because when we are talking about these Asian countries or the Africa or the Latin Americans, why I am stressing it upon? Because we need to understand that we are not dependent like the West, because we have our own a lot of natural resources. Secondly, if something we don't have, but something missing in our country, some natural resource, but we have such strong ties between these friendly nations that can support each other. For example, how Russia is doing right now from last more than 3 years. If you see, India and Russia are making more strong ties, especially in the terms of importing of fertilizer or maybe importing of oil and gas, whatever. And on the other side, what India have other natural resources. As if you see the history of the African continent, historically, until now, I would say Africa is still somehow indirectly controlled by these Western nations. But many leaders of the African nations self understood, and the citizens of the country, that we need to live our own life. We have our own right to grow and develop for the betterment of the future life of the our citizens of the nations. And we need to strongly develop the cooperation and relation with those countries who are standing with us and supporting us, not with those countries who are trying to control us, what the West is doing. And when we you are talking about non-alignment, these all these countries, I would say, slowly believing in non-alignment. Not only India is from the historical time believed in the non-alignment movement. The point is that we all are independent countries. We all have freedom, and each and every of these countries have a full right what to do, what to buy from which country, and with whom we should need to maintain relation. It is our own independent choice and right of each country. So no other country have a right to dictate us or to tell us with whom we should maintain that relations, or the cooperation of business ties, whatever. So when we are talking about, if would say like Russia, India, not only I would say Russia, India, I would stress upon BRICS, because when we are starting to talk about BRICS, BRICS is presently when now a group of officially 10 countries. When it started, it was only a group of 4 countries, BRIC, in the year 2009. And if you see how actively and much more getting very much popularized this group BRICS, because first of all, BRICS always believed in developing the multipolar world, and secondly, they always believe that we should need to support all these underdeveloped or the developing nations. And especially BRICS is already doing a lot of investment in all these countries, and always BRICS have a very open thought mind that we need to develop relations, not only politically or not only business. Even BRICS is working in a special mode, which is the third main pillar of BRICS, that is a cultural dialogue, cultural diplomacy, through which all these countries are also exchanging their historical ties, cooperation between each other, because all these countries have a very strong, rich history and traditions. On the other side, also, I want to say, now already there are partner states of BRICS also there, and more than 25 countries are already queuing to be the part of BRICS, as they have showcased their interest that they want to be in the BRICS also. When we are talking about BRICS, just see the real statistics. If you see the population, the land area, the GDPs, economy, So the I would say, not only I would say, it's a real truth. It's practical. It's available everywhere. Russia, India, and China, the world, three countries which is controlling this group, supporting with each other, because as Russia, one of the biggest country in the world in terms of the land area, and secondly, in India and Russia, India and China together, if you see the world biggest countries in terms of the population. And when we are talking about the business or economy, so where there is population, there are much more prospects of doing business and developing strong businesses also. And at the same time, also supporting the other nations also, especially in terms of technology share, in terms of development of infrastructure or medical technology development, and many more things. So I would say that we need to understand that the nations, that is the West, their time period is already over. Those leaders who are leading these countries, they are sitting there only for the next maybe 1, 2, or 3 years maximum. So Donald Trump knows the reality. So he's there only remaining 3 years. Then there will be a new leader. And on the other side, if you see the leaders of these countries like Russia, India, and China, more than 10, 15 years, they are sitting and leading their country in a very, very good faith and trusty way, that the citizens of these countries are always supporting their leaders, and they believe the thought process of our leaders are in a very positive, great momentum, that they are supporting their own nation there for their development with their own interest. And also, not only that, they are supporting the other friendly nations who believe to stand with each other and developing the strong nations. So we should not be under pressure of the third party nations like US or the West, like what Ukraine is doing from last more than 3 years. It's clearly visible to the whole world that there is a conflict between two nations, and but the group of other Western countries, they are just trying to play the business game by jumping into this war. And for them, this is not an operation. For them, this is like a pure business. So on the other side, as our leaders have always said, that we need to sit on a table to discuss, and we need to follow the rule of diplomacy. We need to respect that. Until unless you will not talk, you will not solve the conflict. So we should solve our issues by discussing and respecting with each other, and try to maintain strong relationship with a friendly nation and help them to grow together with your nations also.